Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we have to take a look today at Les Canadiens de Montreal. I know my French hockey fans like when I do that, so I'm doing that for you guys today. We have a report here from Elliotte Friedman about the status of Brendan Gallagher and his situation with the Habs. So we'll be going over that today. So, from Elliotte Friedman, he thinks that there is going to be somebody with interest in Brendan Gallagher. Now, that's not saying he's being shopped around by the Canadiens or anything like that. But the problem I have with this stuff, and this is obviously, I always listen to Elliotte. He's a really good insider, and obviously he's getting this from somewhere. But I wonder if that mindset changes when they name their general manager. We don't know what their manager thinks yet. And he's going to give some time probably to figure out what are these players. And the problem is, and this isn't any, this is a good thing for Brendan Gallagher. He's the kind of guy that everybody cheers on because of the way he plays. He's so much of a pain in the ass when he's on the other side. And Habs fans know what I'm talking about here. You can't always put a value on that. And the way he blocks shots and the way he handles things is really hard to, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's really hard to get rid of a guy like that. It takes a lot because of the way he puts his heart and soul into the hockey team. Now, there's something we have to remember here. There's context to this, but Brendan Gallagher right now, in terms of forward, is the highest paid forward in terms of his annual average on his contract. Brendan Gallagher has been here since he was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens back in the 2010 NHL draft, back in the 5th round. Now, Brendan Gallagher is a cornerstone, heart and soul guy of this team. You look at his current salary right now. He is on the first year of a modified no-trade clause. The player submits a 6-team no-trade list. This is all from Cap Friendly. A 6-team no-trade list for a 6-year, $39 million contract. No, not 93. That's a lot. 6-year, $39 million contract. That is $6.5 million per season. This contract will take him until the summer of 2027. So he's going to be there for a while. And that may be part of the reason the Habs want to get rid of him. He's making a lot of money. $6.5 million. That's a lot of money for a Brendan Gallagher. So the problem is you run this situation where how much value is on his situation, right? So you look at, he was drafted in 2010. He was a runner-up for the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year in 2013. He has been an alternate captain of the Montreal Canadiens for 7 seasons now. So it's like, how do you get rid of that? Now, I think there was some disparity. I don't know how much of that was Marc Bergevin or the ownership of the Montreal Canadiens, but Brendan Gallagher was very close before signing this contract to leaving Montreal. And he kind of stuck to his guns, and he ended up getting the contract he wanted. But I wonder if there's a little bit of a situation where it's something that can't be amended, and there's a mutual, maybe we should cut these ties. I wonder if that's still there to some extent for Gallagher. There was a lot of emotions thrown into that contract dispute between him and the Canadiens. And I wonder, even though Marc Bergevin's gone, if that isn't fully, quote-unquote, water under the bridge in their relationship. So that's something that you have to account for, especially considering how he's still in the first year of that contract, right? So the fact that's already being talked about, it does make you wonder. And maybe the ownership and management saying to themselves, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best contract that Marc Bergevin signed. So you look at Brendan Gallagher so far this season. He's played in 25 games. He's got 10 points in 25 games. He's played in over 600 games in the NHL. Now, here's something that I think is interesting. So who would be in on a guy like Brendan Gallagher? There are going to be plenty of teams in on him. But again, because of that $6.5 million cap hit, it might make things more tricky. So a couple of teams I just threw up at the board. You got a couple of teams in the Eastern Conference. You have the Pittsburgh Penguins. the Islanders, and the Rangers. I think all three of those teams, again, they're all in that Metro division, but I think they would be a really interesting option for Gallagher. Again, it comes down to money, though. I don't know if those teams are going to have the money to make that deal work. It would definitely have to be a retain on the Habs, but again, with 5 years left after this season on that deal, is that something truly that we're going to see realistically happening? Do they want to retain 25% of a salary for the next 5 years? I don't think the Habs probably just want to rid themselves of that. So maybe that knocks them out of the running. Well, what about two teams more on the West Coast in the Western Conference? And that way you keep Gallagher out of the East. Maybe the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks would love to have a heart and soul guy like that. They have Nick Delorier, but this is a guy you could probably throw in your top 6 as well. A good penalty killer. I could see him doing really well in Anaheim and helping that penalty kill. What about the Calgary Flames? He'd be pretty close to home. His home is in Edmonton, Alberta. He'd be a lot closer to home in Calgary. And the Calgary Flames do have some cap space to work with. They could definitely be a player. And they do have a lot of prospects and draft picks. They might be able to get that deal done. I wonder if the Calgary Flames are a really good fit there in a trade for Brendan Gallagher. But with that said, the price could be high for Gally. You're looking at probably a first-round pick, a prospect, and a mid-draft pick. Now, the thing is, you're getting that long-term. This is not just a one-year rental. This is a guy you're getting long-term. So the Habs will sell that as a value, but the Flames will say, well, we got to pay this guy the next 5 years at that $6.5 million cap hit, and he's not even a top-line player. So they may be able to bargain it down to maybe just a third or fourth round draft pick prospect and a first round pick. I could definitely see Montreal getting a first for Brendan Gallagher because of what he means to that team. He's a great locker room guy, a very funny guy as well. But on the ice, a very serious guy as well, and a huge competitive natured player. So I think Gallagher will definitely be a guy that can get something for the Habs. And the thing is, though, like I said, he was drafted. He's been with this organization for 12 years. So this would definitely, I think, sting a little bit for Brendan Gallagher. But if it means maybe playing closer to home in Alberta, maybe there's just a perfect marriage there for him to start off fresh with a team like the Calgary Flames. And it's not like the Flames. The Flames see themselves as maybe a playoff team, but they want to add depth. And you add a guy like Brendan Gallagher, he can definitely do that. And I think he would fit well under the Daryl Sutter system that the Flames have going. So I think that could work really well. And you look at their lineup, you have Johnny Gaudreau, Lindholm, and Tkachuk on your top line. Probably not shaking that. But their second line, he could fit right in on the second line. You have Blake Coleman, Sean Monahan, and Andrew Mangiapane. You throw Brendan Gallagher in for Mangiapane or Coleman on the wing, he could be a really nice player to play alongside Monahan. So, again, something we'll probably be keeping an eye on. So, that is it for today's video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.